Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to talk with you. I'm talking from Savannah, United States in Georgia. I'm a professor and I work with design for 26 years. I started my career in Brazil before. We teach in an undergraduate and graduate course, and we have some different approaches here. And I have the opportunity to show what we teach to our students here in graduate programs and undergraduate programs also. I would like to start this presentation saying that this presentation is based on this excellent book named What is Your Problem? It was recommended by Eric Schmidt from the former CEO of Google. And this entire book talks about reframing problems. I'd like to start with an example. What's the sum of 5 plus 5? We all know the answer. But what is the answer to this other question? What two numbers add up to 10? Can have the same answer to both questions. But the second question is open and it's a different perspective to the same problem. And sometimes we arrive in the problem, especially in education, using the first question. The first question is the easiest one. And probably most of people will choose this. So the first question has only one right answer, and the second question has an infinite number of solutions, including negative numbers and fractions. And these two problems, which rely on simple addition, differ only in the way they are framed. In fact, all questions are the frame into which the answers fall. As you can see, by changing the frame, you dramatically change the range of possible solutions. So let's start now with a very interesting example about reframing. So a shipping company, Bonjour, operates a direct sailing route between New York and French city Le Havre, with one departure each day in both directions. Specifically, every day at noon in New York, a ship sails to Le Havre, and simultaneously in Le Havre, a ship sails to New York. And the crossing takes exactly 7 days and 7 nights in either direction. So the question is, if you leave New York on Bonjour ship today, how many other Bonjour ships will pass at sea before you arrive in Le Havre? You should count only the company ships and only the ones met at sea, meaning not in the harbor. So how many ships will you find? Probably most of people will use this reasoning. The boat will leave New York, and from Le Havre in the next 7 days, the boat probably will meet one boat every single day. But the number is higher than 7. The number is 13. Because most people miss the ships that sailed before our departure and are already at sea when we leave New York. So we already have 6 boats in the sea. In short, we don't come to problems with a neutral view of the situation. In messy situations, it is as if your subconscious mind immediately draws a frame around a specific part of the problem before passing it on your conscious self. The first framing carries profound consequence. Everything inside the frame is carefully scrutinized. Everything outside the frame receives zero attention. This process is subconscious. You usually aren't even aware that we are not seeing the full picture. So the concept behind framing your problems, like in this EduJam UK, is that you can look at every situation in the world from different angles. In most cases, we don't even consider the frames. We just assume we are looking at the world with the proper set of lenses. However, being able to question and shift your frame of reference is an important key to enhancing your imagination because it reveals completely different insights. But the most important question in this lecture is, how can we reframe a problem? The first part, people, is to write down your problems. It's good to write your problem because avoid jumping to the solution. And writing is very good because it forces you to be specific. It creates mental distance. It's easier to look something outside your head. And writing is good also because it gives advisors more to work with. Can you imagine the mentors trying to understand your problem without reading it? Writing our problem creates an anchor for the discussion. You can always ask, does that idea solve this written problem? In the future, a client may misremember the problem they asked you to solve. And you can always say, no, I wrote the problem here. The problem you asked for me to solve is this. So start writing your problems, okay? And how can we frame it? I'm going to talk about 4 different strategies to reframe problems. So the first one is look beyond your own expertise. The second is look to prior events. And the third one is look for hidden influence. And the last one, look for non-obvious aspects of the situation. So look beyond your expertise. Remember the law of the hammer. We tend to frame problems so that they match our preferred solutions. So if you only know how to use a hammer, everything will be a nail. This is the problem of being expert in one field. So let's remember this very interesting questions. What is your own favorite hammer? Meaning the type of solution you are good at applying. So probably if you come from UX, you are trying to solve everything with UX design. If you come from service design, you try to solve everything in the world using service design. So it can be a trap. The second strategy is look to prior events. So for example, your teenage daughter comes back from school early, visibly upset. When you ask what's going on, she explains that she got into a shouting match with her teacher. The fight escalated to a point at which your daughter stormed out of the class. This is not like her. She is normally fairly well behaved. What questions would you ask your daughter to better understand the issue? So probably most of people would ask something like, what happened? What your professor did? What you told to your professor? What was happening in the school? But a lot of specialists in the education would ask first, did you remember to eat breakfast this morning? Because there is a lot of connections between what you eat and what happens in your school. You start to ask, what happens before the classroom? There is a distance between cause and effect. Sometimes we are looking too close to the event, but the cause is in the past. The third strategy is to look for hidden influence. Just because two things tend to occur together doesn't necessarily mean that one actually causes the other. Often there is a third underlying factor that is the real culprit. Scientists call this a confounding variable. So let's talk about the marshmallow test. So the Stanford psychologist Walter Mischel and his team put young kids in front of marshmallow, one at a time, and told them, if you refrain from eating this marshmallow for 15 minutes, I will give you a second marshmallow. And then they left the room and secretly watched what happened. At first sight, it showed that kids that resisted to the temptation went on to become high-achieving, healthy young men and women. And the low willpower kids, not so much. They were less healthy and fared less well on a series of other measures too, after a lot of years. Michel and his colleagues had run the original study in 90 preschoolers, all of them from Stanford's campus. In the new study, Watts and his colleagues tested the theory on 900 children, including children from less privileged backgrounds. The result is it wasn't really about willpower, it was about money. Poor kids gobbled down the marshmallow faster because they had grown up in environments in which food might not be around tomorrow. If you try to link marshmallow and success in life, probably you are forgetting a hidden influence that is the poverty. So sometimes when we think that the problem in education is linked to technology, sometimes the real problem, there is a hidden influence that we are not seeing, that is not only technology, that's something that's happening in the house of these students, in the house of teachers. And the last strategy is to look for non-obvious aspects of the situation. How many trips you have to make to the basement to figure out which switch works with which light? So let's imagine that you have 3 lights in the basement, and upstairs you have 3 switches, and you need to know which switch turns on which light. How many times should you go downstairs to find the real answer? So all lights work, each switch affects 1 light bulb, and all 3 light bulbs are turned off when we start. So most people answer 2 trips. But look, it's possible to do in just 1 trip. So when you were thinking about the light bulb problem, you probably did not stop to imagine the color of the wallpaper, or whether it was summer or winter. Neither of those things seem to have relevance for solving your problem, and so, quite sensibly, your mind simply did not bother to think about them. The Christine is right. You can use the temperature of the lamps to know which one. Turn 2 switches on, leave one for 3 minutes, one for 1 minute, and leave one such switch off. What are the non-obvious aspects of the situation? Is the temperature of the lamp. What are the non-obvious aspects of the situation that you are not considering? So the conclusion is, every time you look to a problem, try to look outside your experience. If you are a UX designer, try to look at it like people that works in transportation, that works with biology. Look at the prior events. What happened before? Look at hidden cause-effect influences. So remember the marshmallow. And look for non-obvious aspects. When your problem changes, the solution changes also, and you can go in the right direction. So this is the importance of reframing your problems, okay?